You know that moment? You set your alarm for 5 a.m. Tonight's the night. Tomorrow changes. You're going to be different. Then 6 a.m. hits. Then 7 a.m. Then you wake up at 8:30 and that voice, that familiar voice, whispers, "Why can't I ever stick to anything? Why do I always fail?" Here's what nobody tells you. That voice isn't laziness. It's not weakness. It's your brain protecting you from the one thing that actually terrifies you: change. But what if I told you that one man discovered something that completely broke that pattern? What if his discovery was so simple, so obvious, that when you hear it, you'll wonder why nobody told you before? What if one decision, made at 5 a.m., literally rewrote his entire life in just 90 days? This is the story of Clifford. A man with nothing. A man trapped. A man who discovered a secret that Mr. John, a mysterious mentor, had used to build an empire. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why that secret works. But more importantly, you'll know exactly why you've been failing, and how to finally stop. Stay with me because the next 15 minutes might change your life. Let me introduce you to Clifford, 32 years old. Night security guard at a textile warehouse in an industrial town where the factories never sleep. Every evening at 8 p.m., Clifford clocked in. Every morning at 6 a.m., exhausted beyond words, he clocked out. His salary? $280 a month. His apartment? A one-room space with a mattress on the floor, a broken ceiling fan that hadn't worked in months, and a single light bulb that flickered like it was dying. His clothes were hand-me-downs. His shoes had holes in the soles. But here's what most people don't understand about poverty. It's not just about money. It's about time. Every morning, Clifford walked through his neighborhood as the sun rose. Through the windows, he could see families having breakfast together, kids preparing for school, men in clean shirts heading to office jobs. And Clifford would think, how did they get there? When did they decide their lives would be different than mine? He had tried. God knows he tried. He applied for better jobs. Door after door closed. No degree. No connections. He wanted to learn new skills, but after working all night, his body was destroyed. His mind was fog. All he could do was collapse into bed. His mother lived in the countryside, 3 hours away. She would call him every Sunday. "Clifford, my son, when will your life get better? I'm getting old. I need to know you'll be okay. I need to see you succeed before I'm gone." And Clifford would lie. "Soon, Mama. Very soon. I'm working on something big." But he wasn't working on anything. He was just existing. Here's the brutal truth that haunted him. Clifford wasn't lazy. He worked 10 hours every night, walking miles through that warehouse, staying alert, doing his duty perfectly. But hard work alone doesn't change anything when you're working in the wrong direction. It's like running on a treadmill at full speed. You're exhausted. You're sweating. You're completely spent. But you end up in the exact same place. Every single morning, Clifford collapsed into bed around 7 a.m., sleeping until 4 p.m. While the world moved forward, Clifford was asleep. While other people built their futures, Clifford was unconscious. And the worst part? He didn't even know how to stop it. One cold Tuesday morning in late October, Clifford's phone rang just as he was walking out of the warehouse gates. It was his sister. Her voice was shaking. "Clifford, you need to come home right now. It's Mama. She collapsed. She's in the hospital." His heart stopped. The next 3 hours were a blur. The bus ride felt eternal. His mind was creating nightmares faster than the bus could move. When he finally arrived at the small rural clinic, his mother was in a bed, pale and thin. The doctor pulled him aside. "Your mother fainted from exhaustion and stress. Her heart is weakening. She needs rest. She needs better nutrition. She needs medication we can't afford here." Clifford stood frozen. His mother held out her hand, barely able to squeeze his fingers. "Clifford, listen to me. I don't have much time left. Promise me something. Please. Don't waste your life like I wasted mine. Don't work yourself to death and end up with nothing. Find a way. Find a way out. Promise me." Clifford sat beside her bed for hours, just watching her sleep, looking at her hands, wrinkled from decades of work in the fields. Just like his hands were being destroyed from years of night work. Both of them struggling. Both of them going nowhere. And in that moment, something inside Clifford shattered. Not with sadness. With rage. Rage at his own helplessness. Rage at accepting this life. Rage at lying to his mother. He stepped outside the clinic into the pre-dawn darkness. It was 5 a.m. The village was still asleep, but he could see farmers beginning to walk to their fields. Birds were starting to sing. The air was cool and fresh. And standing there in that darkness, Clifford made a decision that would change everything. No more, he whispered to himself. I won't live like this anymore. I don't care what it takes. I will find a way. I will build something. My mother will not die thinking I wasted my life. I promise you I will find a way. On the bus ride back to town, Clifford noticed something that seemed like fate. Sitting across from him was a man in his early 50s. Well-dressed. Not flashy but clearly successful. He was reading a book called The 5 a.m. Club. Clifford recognized him. Mr. John. A legend in town. He owned several successful shops. His kids had gone to university. His family seemed to have everything that Clifford didn't. And here he was on a regular bus at 6 a.m., with a book about waking up early. Clifford had nothing to lose. He gathered his courage and leaned forward. Excuse me, sir. Why are you on this early bus? Aren't you already successful? Mr. John looked up and smiled. One of those genuine smiles that made Clifford feel like maybe, just maybe, this man would actually listen. Because I wake at 4:30 every single morning. Have for 30 years. This bus ride is part of my routine. I use this time to read, to think, to plan my day before the world wakes up and demands my attention. Clifford couldn't help himself. But, don't you need sleep? Doesn't waking up that early destroy you? Mr. John leaned back, studying Clifford's tired face. I sleep from 9 p.m. to 4:30 a.m. 7.5 hours. Is that enough sleep for me? Absolutely. Is it enough sleep for someone working nights and destroying their body? No. But that's the point, young man. You're not living a normal life. So normal sleep won't fix you. You work nights. John asked. Security guard. Warehouse. 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. And when do you sleep? 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. Most days. Mr. John nodded slowly and his expression changed. He looked at Clifford like he was seeing something most people miss. No wonder you're stuck, my friend. You're awake when the world sleeps. You're asleep when the world works. Your schedule isn't just inconvenient. It's sabotaging you. The bus was quieter now. Clifford felt like this conversation was the most important thing happening in the world at that moment. Mr. John leaned forward, his voice dropping. Let me tell you a secret. A secret I learned 30 years ago that changed everything. Are you listening? Clifford nodded. The hours between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m.? Those aren't just hours. Those are magic hours. That's when champions are built. That's when you construct the life you want while everyone else is still dreaming. That's when willpower is strongest. When your mind is clearest. When the world is quiet. John pulled out a small notebook and a pen. But here's what most people don't understand. You can't wake up early and expect your life to change by itself. You need a system. You need to know exactly what you're doing in those hours. Otherwise, you'll just wake up early and waste time in a different time zone. He drew a simple diagram. A square labeled your life. Right now, your life is falling apart because you never build the foundation. You're too busy surviving. The 5 a.m. hours, those 2 hours, that's your foundation building time. While everyone else is asleep or just waking up in a daze, you're constructing your future. He started writing numbers. 2 hours every morning. That's 14 hours per week. That's 60 hours per month. That's 730 hours per year. He circled the number 730. That's the equivalent of 91 full workdays. Imagine if someone gave you 91 extra days to build something while everyone else wasn't watching. That's what you get. That's what I've always had. Clifford stared at the paper. 730 hours. 3 extra months nobody else gets. But how do I use those hours? Clifford asked. What do I actually do? Mr. John smiled like he'd been waiting for this question. Mr. John turned to a fresh page in the notebook and drew 2 boxes. This is non-negotiable, Clifford. This is the exact system I used. This is the exact system every person I've ever mentored has used to completely transform their lives. Are you ready? Clifford nodded. Hour 1. 5 to 6 a.m. Build skills. John wrote it clearly. You spend this hour learning something that will change your economic situation. Not checking your phone. Not watching videos that don't matter. Learning. Real learning. A skill. A language. A trade. A certification. Online courses are free now, Clifford. YouTube has everything. You have no excuse for ignorance anymore. What skill? Clifford asked. That depends on you. What do you wish you knew? What skill would make you more valuable? What would you need to learn to double your income? Clifford thought for a moment. Accounting. Every business needs it. The warehouse needs it. I could help them. Perfect. Hour 1, you learn accounting. Excel. Data analysis. You find free courses online and you study them like your life depends on it? Because it does. Mr. John continued. Hour 2. 6 to 7 a.m. Build your body and mind. This hour has 2 parts. The first 30 minutes, exercise. Walk, run, stretch. Your body is your vehicle, Clifford. If it breaks down, you have nothing. Most people neglect this. Most people wonder why they don't have energy to achieve their dreams. It's because their bodies are dying. The second 30 minutes, read. Plan your day. Apply what you learned in hour 1. Mentally prepare for what's coming. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't exercise it, it atrophies. Mr. John set the notebook down. That's the system. 2 hours. Every single day. But Mr. John, I work nights. When do I sleep? You change your sleep. You get home at 6:30 a.m. You sleep immediately from 6:30 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. That's 5 hours. Not ideal, but enough to survive. Then you wake up and live your real life while the world is awake. Eventually, when you're good enough, when you've built enough value, you transition to day work. Then you wake at 5 a.m. and sleep at 9 p.m. But first, you prove you can do this. Clifford's mind was reeling. This was actually doable. But there's more, Mr. John said. Rules. 3 rules that will determine if you succeed or fail. He held up one finger. Rule 1, no negotiation. You wake at 5 a.m. every single day, including weekends. No, just this once I'll skip. No, just today I'll sleep in. No excuses. No negotiations. That's how people fail. They create exceptions. Exceptions become habits. Habits destroy dreams. Second finger. Rule 2, sleep by 9 p.m. You cannot cheat sleep and succeed, Clifford. Your body needs rest. But you control when you rest. You don't rest whenever you feel like it. You rest when your system requires it. Discipline is doing what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Third finger. Rule 3, the first week will be hell. Your body will fight you. Your mind will create excuses. Your old habits will pull at you like gravity. You will want to quit. Push through. After 21 days, it becomes normal. After 90 days, it becomes who you are. Mr. John looked directly at Clifford, his eyes intense. I'm going to give you 90 days, Clifford. 90 days of waking at 5 a.m. 90 days of building skills in hour 1. 90 days of building yourself in hour 2. At the end of 90 days, come back to me. Show me what you've built. Show me the work. If you've actually done the work, if you can prove that you didn't cheat, didn't skip, didn't make excuses, then I'll help you find a real job. I'll make calls. I'll put my reputation behind you. If you quit, don't bother calling me. Not because I'm mean, but because success goes to people who show up when it's hard. And if you can't show up for yourself, I can't help you. Clifford felt the weight of what was being asked. But underneath that weight was something else. Something he hadn't felt in years. Oh, I'll do it, Clifford heard himself say. I won't quit. Mr. John smiled, but his smile wasn't encouraging. It was knowing. Everyone says that, Clifford. The real test is tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off at 5 a.m. and every part of your body screams to go back to sleep. We'll see if you still mean it then. The bus pulled up to Clifford's stop. Mr. John handed him a card with his phone number. Call me when you've done 90 days. Clifford stepped off the bus holding that card like it was made of gold. Day 1 to 21, the hell phase. The next morning, Clifford's alarm screamed at 5 a.m. His entire body protested. Every muscle ached. His mind was foggy. The bed was warm. The room was cold. His mind whispered, just one more hour. You're so tired. You worked all night. Your body needs rest. Just this once. But then he saw his mother's face. In the hospital bed. Wake. Scare. Find a way, my son. Promise me. Clifford threw off the blanket and forced himself to stand up. The first week was agony. Every morning he dragged himself awake. His body aching. His mind foggy. At 5 a.m., while it was still dark, he sat at his small table with his phone, watching free Excel tutorials on YouTube. His eyes burned from lack of sleep and screen time. His mind wandered constantly. But he didn't stop. At 6 a.m., he forced himself to walk around his neighborhood for 30 minutes, even though every step hurt. Then he read articles about accounting until 7 a.m. By 7:30 a.m., he collapsed into bed, slept until 1:30 p.m., prepared for his night shift at 3 p.m. The cycle repeated. Every single day. It was exhausting. It was lonely. It made no sense to anyone around him. His coworkers at the warehouse noticed his exhaustion. Clifford, you look worse than usual. Are you okay? Yeah, just starting something new. They didn't ask what. Nobody understood why he was choosing to sleep less, wake up earlier, and spend his limited free time studying instead of resting. Day 3, his body felt like it was rebelling. He almost quit. Day 7. He was so tired he fell asleep during his morning walk and woke up on a park bench, embarrassed and angry at himself. Day 14. The doubt was intense. What if this doesn't work? What if I'm just destroying my health for nothing? But then something happened. Day 21. Clifford woke up at 4:58 a.m., 2 minutes before his alarm. His body had adapted. His mind had stopped fighting. For the first time since he started, he didn't feel resentment. He felt ready. His first Excel tutorial finally clicked. The formulas suddenly made sense. He was starting to understand data analysis. He completed his first online certificate. His morning walks became something he looked forward to. The sunrise, the quiet streets, the feeling that while everyone else was sleeping, he was building something they couldn't see. Around day 25, Clifford realized something. He wasn't thinking about quitting anymore. This was becoming normal. Day 22 to 90, the transformation. By the end of month 2, Clifford had completed 3 online courses in accounting and Excel. He had lost 15 pounds from daily walking and better sleep patterns. His mind felt sharper than it had in years. His confidence was growing. People at work started noticing something had changed. Clifford, you look different. Healthier. What's going on? He would just smile. I'm changing my life 2 hours at a time. In the 3rd month, Clifford applied what he had learned in a real way. He created a simple Excel spreadsheet to organize the warehouse inventory, something the company had never done properly. He showed it to his supervisor. The supervisor stared at it for a long moment. Clifford, where did you learn this? I wake up at 5 a.m. and teach myself. Word spread quickly in that warehouse. From the supervisor to the manager to the owner. Nobody expected the night security guard to suddenly have technical skills. But there it was. Proof. On day 87 of Clifford's 90-day journey, he was called into the warehouse office. His heart was pounding. What if they fired him for wasting time on other things? But instead, his supervisor smiled. Clifford, we're expanding our accounting department. We need someone who understands our warehouse operations and has basic bookkeeping skills. The position is day shift. Double your current salary. It's yours if you want it. Clifford stood there speechless. 3 months ago, he was a hopeless night security guard sleeping through the daylight. Now he was being offered an office job. A real job. A job that paid real money. When do I start? Monday. You're done with nights, Clifford. Welcome to the day shift. The proof, Clifford returns to John. That evening, Clifford called Mr. John. His hands were shaking. Mr. John, it's Clifford. I did it. I woke up at 5 a.m. every single day for 90 days. I never missed once. And today I got promoted. Day shift. Double my salary. There was a pause. Then Mr. John's voice came through, warm and proud. I knew you would, Clifford. I could see it in your eyes on that bus. You had the look of someone ready to actually change. Not just dream about change. Actually do it. Thank you, Mr. John. I wouldn't have. Don't thank me yet, Mr. John interrupted. Now the real work begins. You've proven you can show up. You've proven you can build. But remember, Clifford, success is not a destination. It's a daily practice. And that practice begins at 5 a.m. I won't stop waking at 5 a.m. This is who I am now. Good. Because the people who stop waking up early after they succeed, they regress. They go backwards. The 5 a.m. practice isn't just something you do until you win. It's something you do forever. 1 year later, Clifford had become the company's lead accountant. He saved enough money to bring his mother to town and get her proper medical care. He rented a decent 2-bedroom apartment. Every morning at 5 a.m. he still woke up. Not because he had to anymore, but because those 2 hours were sacred. That's when he learned new software, read business books, planned his future. His mother would watch him leave in the darkness every morning. Clifford, you've already made it. Why do you still wake so early? And Clifford would smile and kiss her forehead. Mama, success is not a destination. It's a daily practice. The close your 90-day challenge. Here's what you need to understand about Clifford's story. It's not special because he's special. It's special because his choice was simple. One choice. 5 Uhr morgens. Everything changed because of that one choice. But here's what most people miss. Clifford didn't become successful because he woke up early. He became successful because he used those hours intentionally while everyone else wasted them sleeping. The world is full of early risers who accomplish nothing. They wake up at 5 a.m. and scroll their phone until 7 a.m. They wake up and stress about their day without doing anything about it. They wake up and it doesn't matter because they don't have a system. But Clifford was different. Clifford had a system. Hour 1, build skills. Hour 2, build your body and mind. That's it. That's the whole secret that Mr. John shared. And if Clifford could do it, a man with no degree, no connections, no money, just a decision, then what excuse do you have? You're watching this video, which means you have internet. You have resources. You have opportunity. Clifford had desperation. You have possibility. That should be even more powerful. Here's your 90-day challenge. The same challenge Mr. John gave Clifford. Step 1. Tonight, set your alarm for exactly 5 a.m. Not 5:15. Not 5:30. Exactly 5 a.m. And put your phone across the room so you have to physically stand up to turn off the alarm. Step 2. Choose one skill you'll build in hour 1. Don't overwhelm yourself. One skill. One focus. A language? Accounting? Programming? Digital marketing? Public speaking? Choose one. Write it down. Commit to it for 90 days. Step 3. Protect your sleep. 9 p.m. bedtime. Non-NEGOTIABLE. I know Netflix is calling. I know your phone is tempting. I know your bed feels warm at night. But sleep is not your enemy. Wasted evenings are. Step 4. Join the community. Hit that like button right now. Not later. Right now. That's your first commitment. Drop a comment telling me, what skill will you build in your first hour tomorrow? I will be checking the comments. I will be looking for the people serious about this. Share this video with someone who says they want to change but never does. Maybe this is the push they need. Maybe seeing Clifford's story is the permission they need to finally start. Subscribe to this channel because every single week I bring you stories of people who transformed their lives. Real people. Real systems. Real results. Not motivational speeches. Not empty promises. Stories like Clifford's that prove something powerful. Your life can change. Not someday. Not when circumstances improve. Not when you feel more motivated. Right now. Starting tomorrow at 5 a.m. Here's what I promise you. If you wake up at 5 a.m. every single day for the next 90 days, and you use those 2 hours intentionally, hour 1 to build skills, hour 2 to build yourself, your life will not look the same. Maybe you won't get promoted immediately. Maybe you won't become a millionaire in 90 days. But you will become someone different. You will become someone stronger. You will become someone more disciplined. You will become someone more capable. And that person, that version of you that shows up at 5 a.m. when it's hard, when it's dark, when everything in you wants to quit, that person can achieve literally anything. Because you will have proven to yourself that you can do hard things. That you can stick to commitments. That you can build a future instead of just hoping for one. Your future self is waiting on the other side of that alarm clock. They're waiting for the version of you that doesn't hit snooze. They're waiting for the version of you that builds while everyone else is sleeping. They're waiting. Don't make them wait another day. Tomorrow at 5 a.m. the question isn't, will you change? The question is, who will you become? And the answer to that question depends entirely on whether you're willing to wake up.